So, if you haven't heard from the last video, a doctoral thesis has been accepted by the University of Wollongong for the title of the paper. If you go back to last video, you'll be able to find a link to it. Is a critical analysis of the Australian government's rationale for its vaccination policy, right? And it's made by a very prominent anti-vaxxer called Judy Wellman. And Judy Wellman, well, you think, what is she? Does she have a, who is she writing this? Well, she's received her doctoral PhD thesis in philosophy. So not only is she criticising something that she knows nothing about, and oh, believe me, we'll get to she knows nothing at all about what she's talking about. In fact, given the stuff that keeps on coming out, because people are still analysing this paper, and it's well been thoroughly trashed to pieces at this point, but stuff still is coming out about it. We're going to take just a look at her opening abstract. Now, what is an opening abstract? Well, it says here, normally the abstract thesis for humanities and any other academic discipline needs to include a statement of purpose, like why you are doing this, your methods or your approach, why you did this, so what you did, so the results as well, and what you found and your conclusions and how they fill the gap. Right? Wellman does none of this. What she proposes in an academic thesis and an opening is nothing more than a massive rant. In fact, she's already come to conclusions before she's even started it. Right? So this is literally the first sentence. Vaccination policies in Australia need to be scrutinised because of use of a medical intervention in prevention of infectious diseases has serious health and social implications. Right? So it's a conclusion that comes before any observations. That's just insane. Why, again, back to the statement. Why are you doing this? That's not why you were doing this. That's clearly, it's an observation. And she, again, as I already said before, she's come to the conclusion of before she's even decided anything. The aim of this thesis is to assess the rigour and claims supporting the efficacy and safety and necessity of the use of an expanding number of vaccines in the Australian government's national immunisation programme. Right. This is something, and again, people have gone into extreme evidence about this, that she has on purposely ignored hundreds, if not thousands of, scientific papers that, vaccines are safe and that they do work. And yet she has gone out and cherry-picked studies that have said, well, we've had one death, and basically used that one death in the study to show, oh, we've got to stop all vaccinations completely. This is absolutely insane, right? In fact, on here, there's another blog that discusses this part, and it says, first there is discussion about semantics, the importance of terms of vaccination and immunisation. Seemingly it has everything to do with vaccine effectiveness. Apparently, because the government uses the term immunisation on their website, they are misleading the public into thinking that all people who get vaccinated are immune. This argument is complete red herring in any discussion about efficiency or safety of vaccines. The general message from this chapter is there is little evidence to support the safety of vaccines. Her references to support this outrageous comments are from bottom-dwelling literature that includes a 50-year-old discussion along with well-established, thoroughly debunked pseudoscience. At no other point does she mention any of the vast scientific literature that includes large and clinical, studies. So, as I said, she's not including any of the studies that would, prove her wrong. And again, we go back onto one of the guys who's a graduate in this field and works for the World Health Organization, said when I went to her, she was not interested in hearing any evidence that contradicted her theories or beliefs, which is insane when you're writing this. Anyway. Also, it appears here in another one, the Australian government's national immunisation programme, like all member countries of the World Health Organization, is recommended by the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunisation. Right. This is absolutely ridiculous, right off the bat, because the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunisation, right, are dedicated to bringing vaccines to the poorest countries of the world, right? They've got no interest in Australia. That's not even in their jurisdiction. That's not even what they're talking about. So Wildman should have got at least, dismarked for that, because that's outright wrong. They've got nothing to do with Australia. So that's absolutely insane. Another part is it is important that independent research is carried out and assesses whether all the vaccines being recommended today are safe and are necessary for the protection of communities. It is a fact, it is an absolute fact that vaccines are rigorously carried out in hundreds, if not thousands of studies, not even by, pharmaceutical companies, but carried out by governments, government regulatory bodies, universities, and there are a number of organisations that are independent of, World Health Organizations and pharmaceutical companies that carry out, studies into vaccines, and time again they have proven that vaccines are safe. It is absolutely ridiculous that she would even say this. And again, she's not even bringing up any of these studies. This is just how wrong her vaccine is, and this is just in her opening statement. She has come to the conclusion before she's even done any research or any, at least, studying into what she's even talking about. Remember, her doctoral thesis, what she got this for, is on vaccinations, and what she got was a PhD in philosophy. This university has a serious problem if they think that they can just give out a PhD in philosophy in criticising something that is well known and practically well established as vaccinations. And this is absolutely insane. I could go to this university and write a PhD thesis on, alien abductions, and I'm pretty much certain I could, be guaranteed a PhD. I could be sitting here now, 4 years' time, and have a PhD in psychology or whatever I well choose, because apparently you can do whatever you want. You can, go out of your field of expertise and, promote absolute proven woo-woo, as Judy Wildman has done. This is absolutely insane. And we're going to be getting onto other things that she's put in her thesis, which are out and out provably wrong. And quite frankly, if she'd done a PhD defence thesis, which they don't do in Australia, which they do everywhere else in the world, Judy Wildman would have been ripped to shreds by the people that actually know what they're talking about. If you are a graduate of the University of Wollongong, you should be writing to your university and absolutely, demonstrably saying that you are ashamed that you are a graduate from what this has come out. This is absolutely insane. And it's not just this. This isn't the first time. It's come out just yesterday that she wrote a master's thesis on vaccination. Again, doing a PhD in psychology. No, it's not psychology, philosophy. What is this university doing? And we'll get into what the university doing, because next video we're going to be talking about what her PhD overseer is written a defence on this. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This guy needs firing. I'm sorry, but he seriously does. To say what he says about this thesis is absolutely demonstrably wrong. But that's another video for another time. And we'll get into that soon. But yeah, Judy Wildman, PhD in basically bullshit. And what else can you say but that? It's insane.